Ladies and gentlemen, what do men notice first about women? It's not just what meets the eye, it's far deeper, more profound, and speaks to the essence of human connection and values. In a world driven by appearances, the surface often gets the spotlight, but beneath it lies a wealth of signals, instincts, and subconscious judgments that shape how relationships unfold. This isn't about fleeting attraction, it's about what truly captivates attention, what leaves an impression that lingers, and what compels someone to connect at the core of their being. This is a journey into understanding human dynamics, one where biology, psychology, and cultural values converge to reveal truths about what draws us together. Whether you're seeking to deepen your understanding of relationships or simply curious about the forces at play in human attraction, this exploration will challenge you, enlighten you, and perhaps even transform the way you view connections. First impressions hold a weight far greater than we often acknowledge. They are the moments in which the subconscious leaps to conclusions before reason has had a chance to step in. When a man first notices a woman, the reaction may seem instantaneous, but is built on layers of evolutionary psychology, cultural conditioning, and personal experience. This is not merely about seeing, it is about perceiving, evaluating, and instinctively responding. What happens in those initial moments speaks volumes about human nature and the complexity of connection. There is a profound interplay between biology and socialization in these encounters. Men, like women, are wired to notice certain attributes first not out of superficiality, but because those attributes signal something deeper. It might be posture, the way she carries herself, or the way she holds her gaze. These are not just physical markers, they are indicators of confidence, health, vitality, and approachability. In those fleeting moments, the mind asks questions it doesn't consciously articulate. Is she confident? Does she seem at ease in her own skin? Is she someone who radiates positivity or someone who carries the weight of unspoken struggles? Confidence is magnetic. It draws attention like a flame draws a moth. But it is not the loud, brash kind of confidence that demands the spotlight. It is the quiet assurance of someone who knows their worth and moves through the world with purpose. Men notice this not because they are searching for perfection, but because confidence signals stability. It suggests resilience in the face of adversity and a foundation upon which trust and partnership can be built. In contrast, insecurity often shows itself just as quickly through nervous gestures, hesitant speech, or an avoidance of eye contact. These small cues, though subtle, can shape how someone is perceived before a single word is spoken. But it isn't just confidence that captures attention. There is an undeniable energy in body language that speaks louder than words. A woman who stands tall, shoulders back, and chin held high sends a message. She is present, engaged, and open to the world. Her movements are fluid yet purposeful, conveying a sense of grace and intentionality. These nonverbal signals are powerful because they tap into something primal, something that precedes spoken language in the evolution of human interaction. They communicate volumes about how a person feels about themselves and their environment. This is why first impressions are not limited to physical appearance. While physical traits might be noticed initially, it is the energy behind them that truly resonates. A smile, for instance, can light up a room not because of its symmetry or whiteness, but because it conveys warmth, approachability, and kindness. Similarly, eye contact can create an instant connection because it demonstrates presence and attentiveness. These are the subtle indicators that linger in the mind long after the initial encounter, shaping the foundation for deeper connections. Society often reduces these moments to simplistic narratives, focusing on beauty or physical attributes as the sole determinants of attraction. But this view is shallow and fails to capture the complexity of human connection. While external beauty may draw the eye, it is never enough to hold attention if it is not paired with depth, authenticity, and a sense of self. Men notice far more than the superficial. They are drawn to the way a woman inhabits her space, the way she interacts with her surroundings, and the way she makes others feel in her presence. There is also a fascinating dynamic between individuality and cultural norms in these first impressions. Cultural values and societal expectations shape what is deemed attractive or desirable, but true connection often transcends these boundaries. A woman who confidently embraces her individuality, who does not conform for the sake of fitting in, stands out because she is unapologetically herself. Men notice this not because they are looking for someone to challenge conventions, but because authenticity is rare and deeply compelling. It speaks to a level of self-awareness and integrity that cannot be faked. It is important to acknowledge, however, that these first impressions are not set in stone. They are the beginning of a narrative, not its conclusion. While initial perceptions can open the door to connection, it is what follows that truly matters. The depth of a person's character, their kindness, their values, these are the qualities that leave a lasting impression. But the initial moments are crucial because they set the tone for what is to come. They are the spark that ignites curiosity, the invitation to explore someone's world and uncover the richness within. In understanding what men notice first about women, we gain insight not only into attraction but into the fundamental nature of human relationships. These moments remind us of the power of presence, the importance of confidence, and the enduring appeal of authenticity. They challenge us to consider how we present ourselves to the world, not out of a desire to be noticed, but out of a commitment to living fully and authentically. For in the end, what truly matters is not what others see in us, but how we see ourselves and how that vision shapes the way we move through the world. The way a woman communicates is far more than the words she chooses. It is an intricate tapestry woven from tone, cadence, body language, and the unspoken truths that lie between the lines. In every interaction, there is a silent dialogue at play, and it carries immense weight. Men, whether they are fully conscious of it or not, are attuned to this dynamic. They notice how a woman speaks because it offers a glimpse into her inner world, her emotions, her intellect, her self-perception. It is not just about what is said, but how it is delivered, and this aspect of communication often leaves a lasting impression. A calm and composed demeanor in communication speaks volumes. There is something profoundly compelling about a woman who can express herself clearly and with measured confidence, even in situations that might provoke tension or anxiety. This calmness is not a mask to hide behind, but rather a testament to her strength. It reflects self-control and emotional maturity, qualities that suggest she can navigate challenges without being overwhelmed by them. Men notice this because it offers reassurance, a signal that she is someone capable of stability, even when the world feels chaotic. On the other hand, the absence of composure often reveals itself just as quickly. Words spoken hastily, defensively, or with an air of hostility can create an entirely different impression. These moments of communication, especially when they lack alignment with the speaker's intended message, reveal internal conflicts. They highlight insecurities, unresolved tensions, or an inability to process emotions effectively. Men notice this not out of judgment, but because it raises a fundamental question. How does she manage the inevitable stress and conflict of life? There is an undeniable magnetism in a woman who communicates with clarity. This doesn't mean she is always perfectly eloquent or chooses the most sophisticated vocabulary. Instead, it is about her ability to articulate her thoughts and feelings in a way that resonates with sincerity and purpose. Clarity signals that she understands herself, her boundaries, her desires, and her convictions. It shows that she has taken the time to reflect, to grapple with her own complexities, and to emerge with a voice that is both authentic and confident. Men notice this because clarity cuts through ambiguity, building trust and fostering connection. Tone of voice, often overlooked, plays a crucial role in how words are received. A warm and inviting tone has the power to soften even the hardest hearts, while a sharp or dismissive tone can create distance in an instant. The way a woman speaks, whether she carries warmth, humor, or empathy in her voice, matters immensely. Men are highly sensitive to this because tone often carries the emotional undercurrents of a conversation. It reveals not just what is being communicated, but the attitude and intention behind it. Then there is the matter of listening, an equally vital aspect of communication. A woman who listens actively, who shows genuine curiosity and attentiveness in her interactions, demonstrates a rare and valuable quality. This type of listening is not passive, it is an active engagement with the other person's thoughts and feelings. Men notice when a woman listens with intention because it fosters a sense of being seen and understood, two of the most profound human needs. This type of connection is unforgettable because it transcends mere conversation and becomes an exchange of presence and mutual respect. Authenticity in communication is another powerful force. There is a difference between someone who speaks from a place of truth and someone who merely says what they think others want to hear. Authentic communication is rooted in honesty, even when the truth is difficult to express. It is the courage to be vulnerable, to show one's true self without fear of judgment. Men notice this because it creates a foundation of trust. When a woman communicates authentically, she gives permission for others to do the same. This type of interaction becomes a rare refuge in a world often filled with pretense. Body language, though silent, is an inseparable part of communication. A woman's posture, gestures, and expressions add depth and nuance to her words. Open and approachable body language invites connection, while closed or defensive body language can unintentionally create barriers. Men notice these cues instinctively because body language often reveals what words may try to conceal. A genuine smile, direct eye contact, or a relaxed posture can transform an interaction into something deeply meaningful. Humor and playfulness are also forms of communication that leave a lasting impression. A woman who can laugh at herself, who finds joy in the moment, and who isn't afraid to inject lightness into a conversation demonstrates a spirit that is both resilient and engaging. Men notice this because humor breaks down walls and creates an immediate sense of camaraderie. It suggests that she doesn't take herself or life too seriously, a trait that can be profoundly attractive in a world that often feels heavy. The way a woman communicates reveals more than words ever could. It is a reflection of her inner state, her confidence, her authenticity, her capacity for empathy, and her ability to connect. Men notice these aspects of communication because they speak to the kind of partnership she offers. Is she someone who can navigate conflict with grace? Can she express her needs without blame or defensiveness? Does her presence bring warmth and understanding? These are the silent questions answered in the way she speaks, listens, and engages with the world. Communication is the bridge between individuals, and its strength determines the depth of the connection. A woman who communicates with clarity, authenticity, and warmth leaves an indelible mark, not just because of what she says, but because of the way she makes others feel. And that, perhaps, is the most powerful message of all. That words, when spoken from the heart, have the power to transform the very fabric of relationships. Men are wired to notice strength, but not always in the way society often assumes. Physical beauty might catch the eye, but it is strength of character that holds attention. This strength reveals itself in the subtle, often unspoken ways a woman carries herself, her poise, her resilience, her ability to face challenges without losing her sense of self. These qualities transcend the superficial and reach into something far deeper, something timeless and profoundly human. Strength of character is not loud or boastful. It does not demand recognition. Instead, it speaks quietly but powerfully in every choice, every action, and every interaction. There is a reason why composure under pressure is so captivating. It signals an internal fortitude that cannot be easily shaken by external circumstances. A woman who can remain composed when faced with adversity demonstrates mastery over herself, and that mastery speaks volumes. It suggests that she has encountered difficulty before and has emerged from it not broken but refined. This kind of strength is magnetic because it reassures those around her. It communicates that she is someone who can be depended upon, someone who won't crumble when the going gets tough. Men notice this because it creates a sense of safety and stability, qualities that are universally valued in any meaningful relationship. Resilience is another aspect of strength that leaves an indelible impression. Life is filled with hardships, and no one escapes its trials unscathed. But it is not the absence of struggle that defines a person's character. It is their ability to rise above it. A woman who demonstrates resilience shows that she has learned from her experiences, that she has the capacity to adapt, to grow, and to move forward despite the odds. This resilience is not about denying pain or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Instead, it is about facing those challenges head-on and refusing to let them define her. Men notice this because it reflects an incredible depth of spirit. It shows that she is not only capable of handling her own burdens, but also of being a supportive and understanding presence for others. Another dimension of strength that captures attention is integrity. A woman who consistently aligns her actions with her values, even when it is inconvenient or difficult, commands respect. Integrity is a rare quality in a world where it is often easier to follow the crowd or compromise principles for short-term gain. When a woman acts with integrity, she demonstrates a commitment to something greater than herself. She shows that she values truth, fairness, and authenticity above all else. Men notice this because it creates trust, the foundation of any meaningful connection. A woman with integrity is someone who can be relied upon, someone who will not waver when tested, and someone who brings clarity and honesty to every interaction. Confidence is another hallmark of strength, but it is important to understand what true confidence looks like. It is not arrogance or the need to dominate others. True confidence is quiet and self-assured. It does not seek validation or approval because it is rooted in a deep understanding of one's worth. A woman who exudes this kind of confidence is not afraid to take up space to express her opinions or to assert her needs. She knows her value and she does not diminish herself to make others more comfortable. Men notice this because confidence is contagious. It inspires admiration and a desire to rise to the same standard. It challenges those around her to see their own potential and to strive for something greater. Empathy, though often associated with softness, is also a profound expression of strength. It takes immense courage to open oneself to the emotions and experiences of others, to truly listen and to respond with compassion. A woman who embodies empathy demonstrates a strength that is not about dominance but about connection. She has the ability to see beyond herself, to understand the struggles and joys of others, and to create a space where those around her feel valued and understood. Men notice this because empathy fosters intimacy and trust. It creates a bond that goes beyond the surface and touches the very core of what it means to be human. Perhaps the most compelling expression of strength is a woman's ability to remain true to herself. In a world that constantly tries to mold individuals into something they are not, staying authentic requires incredible courage. A woman who knows who she is and refuses to compromise her identity for the sake of fitting in or pleasing others demonstrates an unparalleled level of self-respect. This authenticity is magnetic because it is so rare. Men notice this because it represents freedom, the freedom to be oneself without fear of judgment or rejection. It is a reminder that true connection is only possible when people are willing to show up as they truly are. Strength in all its forms is not about the absence of vulnerability. In fact, it is often through vulnerability that strength is most clearly revealed. A woman who can admit her fears, her struggles, and her imperfections without losing her sense of worth shows a level of courage that is profoundly inspiring. Men notice this because it breaks down walls and creates a space for genuine connection. It shows that strength and vulnerability are not opposites but partners in the journey of growth and understanding. Strength of character is not something that can be faked or forced. It is the result of a lifetime of choices, of facing challenges and choosing to rise above them. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. And it is this strength, more than anything else, that men notice and remember. It is not about perfection, but about perseverance, not about power, but about purpose. It is a strength that inspires, uplifts, and transforms, and it is a strength that leaves an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those who encounter it. When we talk about what men notice in women, we must delve into something deeper than the superficial and transient aspects of attraction. It is easy to assume that appearances dominate first impressions, and they often do, but only for a fleeting moment. What truly captures attention and holds it is the interplay of grace and emotional intelligence. These are not traits that one can artificially project or fake. They are embodied, cultivated through experience, and communicated through every interaction. Grace is not about perfection. It's not about never stumbling or never making mistakes. It's about how one handles those moments. Emotional intelligence, in turn, is the ability to navigate the complex world of human emotions with wisdom, empathy, and an unyielding commitment to understanding. Grace, in this sense, is a kind of internal poise. It is the ability to maintain composure and dignity, even in the face of challenges, to carry oneself with a quiet confidence that does not need validation from others. Men notice this because grace communicates strength without aggression. It says, I am grounded. I am here, and I will not be shaken by the winds of circumstance. Grace is not passive, it is deeply active. It requires choosing to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. It is seen in how a woman moves through her life, in how she treats others, and in how she treats herself. Graceful behavior stands out because it is becoming rarer in a world that often celebrates the loud, the brash, and the chaotic. It is a reminder of something timeless, something enduring. Emotional intelligence, on the other hand, is the capacity to understand and manage not only one's emotions but also the emotions of others. It is the ability to step into another person's perspective, to see the world through their eyes, and to respond with empathy and understanding. Men notice this because it is profoundly disarming. It creates a space of safety and connection where vulnerability is not a risk but a strength. Emotional intelligence allows for deeper communication, for moments of genuine intimacy that are not clouded by misunderstanding or defensiveness. It demonstrates a level of maturity and self-awareness that is both rare and incredibly compelling. These qualities, grace and emotional intelligence, often work in tandem. They are reflected in how a woman approaches conflict. Does she escalate tension, or does she seek to resolve it? Does she listen to understand, or does she listen only to respond? Men notice the difference because it speaks to the ability to create harmony rather than discord. A woman who can approach disagreements with calmness and clarity, who can communicate her thoughts and feelings without resorting to anger or manipulation, stands out. She shows that she is not controlled by her emotions, but instead has learned to work with them, to channel them into something constructive. Another area where these traits shine is in the realm of self-respect. Grace and emotional intelligence are closely tied to how a woman values herself. Self-respect is not about arrogance or self-centeredness. It is about recognizing one's worth and refusing to settle for less than what aligns with one's values and aspirations. Men notice when a woman carries herself with this kind of self-respect because it sets a standard. It shows that she is not seeking approval or validation from external sources, but is confident in her own identity. This kind of self-assuredness is magnetic. It challenges those around her to rise to the same level, to bring their best selves forward. It is important to understand that grace and emotional intelligence do not mean suppressing one's emotions or pretending to be something one is not. They are not about creating a facade of perfection. Instead, they are about authenticity, about being fully present and fully human. They allow a woman to acknowledge her vulnerabilities without being defined by them, to face her fears without being consumed by them. This kind of authenticity is deeply attractive because it creates a sense of trust. Men notice when a woman is genuine because it allows for real connection, for a relationship that is not built on illusions but on truth. In social settings, grace and emotional intelligence manifest in the way a woman interacts with others. Is she kind and considerate, even to those who cannot offer her anything in return? Does she take the time to make others feel seen and valued? Men notice these small but significant actions because they reveal character. They show that she is not focused solely on herself, but is attuned to the needs and feelings of those around her. This kind of awareness and generosity of spirit creates an atmosphere of warmth and inclusivity, which is undeniably attractive. These qualities also extend to how a woman handles success and failure. Grace under pressure is not only about navigating challenges, but also about staying humble in moments of triumph. Emotional intelligence allows for a balanced perspective, for the ability to celebrate achievements without arrogance, and to learn from setbacks without despair. Men notice this because it reflects resilience and stability, qualities that are essential for any enduring partnership. Grace and emotional intelligence are not traits that can be learned overnight. They are the result of self-reflection, of making mistakes and learning from them, of striving to be better not for the sake of appearances, but because it is the right thing to do. These qualities are not about trying to be noticed, they are about being someone worth noticing. They require effort, patience, and a commitment to personal growth, and it is precisely because they are rare and hard-earned that they are so captivating. Men notice these traits not just because they are attractive, but because they point to something deeper, a character that is strong, compassionate, and authentically human. The unspoken truth about relationships is that they are not static, they are dynamic, evolving entities shaped by the actions, decisions, and priorities of both individuals involved. Among the many elements that contribute to their success or failure, one that often goes unnoticed is the role of values. Values are not mere abstract concepts. They are the guiding principles that shape behavior, influence choices, and determine the trajectory of a person's life. And men, whether consciously or subconsciously, are keenly attuned to these values in women. They notice them not in what is said, but in what is done, in the decisions made, in the boundaries maintained. Values are reflected in every aspect of life: how one treats others, how one navigates challenges, and how one responds to success and failure. They are not proclamations made in grandiose terms, but are demonstrated in the smallest of actions. Men notice integrity when a woman stands by her principles even when it is inconvenient. They notice kindness when it is extended without expectation of return. They notice resilience when setbacks are faced with determination rather than despair. These moments, though subtle, reveal the foundation upon which a person's character is built. The strength of values lies in their consistency. Anyone can make claims about what they believe, but it is in the lived expression of those beliefs that authenticity becomes evident. Men notice when a woman's actions align with her words because it signifies trustworthiness. It suggests that she is not swayed by the shifting winds of opinion or circumstance, but is instead anchored by a deeper sense of purpose. This kind of alignment between belief and behavior is rare and therefore incredibly compelling. It sets a standard that elevates not just the individual but also the relationship as a whole. At the heart of values lies the concept of boundaries. Boundaries are not about exclusion or rejection, but about self-respect and clarity. They are a way of communicating what is acceptable and what is not, of protecting one's mental and emotional well-being. Men notice when a woman has clear boundaries because it signifies strength. It shows that she knows her worth and is unwilling to compromise it for fleeting approval or temporary gain. Boundaries are not walls that keep others out, but rather gates that ensure those who enter do so with respect and intention. A woman with well-defined values and boundaries challenges the men in her life to rise to the occasion. She does not settle for mediocrity or half-hearted effort. She demands accountability, not through words, but through her unwavering commitment to what she holds dear. Men notice this because it pushes them to be better, to live up to the standard that has been set. This is not about control or manipulation, it is about mutual growth. It is about creating a partnership where both individuals bring their best selves to the table. Values also play a crucial role in navigating the inevitable conflicts and disagreements that arise in any relationship. They serve as a compass guiding decisions and actions even in moments of tension. Men notice how a woman handles conflict because it reveals her emotional maturity and capacity for empathy. Does she seek to understand or merely to win? Does she approach the situation with humility and openness, or does she dig in her heels out of pride? These responses speak volumes about the underlying values that guide her behavior. It is also important to recognize that values are not static. They evolve over time as individuals grow and gain new perspectives. This evolution is not a sign of inconsistency, but of wisdom. Men notice when a woman is willing to re-examine her values in light of new experiences and insights because it shows humility and a commitment to truth. It demonstrates a willingness to learn and adapt, which are essential qualities for any long-term partnership. The presence of strong values does not mean rigidity or inflexibility. On the contrary, true strength lies in balance. A woman who is grounded in her values but also open to dialogue and compromise creates an environment of mutual respect and understanding. Men notice this because it fosters a sense of safety and stability. It creates a foundation upon which trust can be built and nurtured. Values are not about seeking perfection. They're about striving for authenticity, for alignment between who one is and who one aspires to be. Men notice when a woman is genuinely committed to this journey because it inspires them to embark on their own. It creates a dynamic where both individuals are not merely coexisting but actively contributing to each other's growth and fulfillment. In a world that often prioritizes appearances over substance, values stand as a testament to what truly matters. They are the quiet force that shapes character, influences decisions, and determines the course of relationships. Men notice them not because they are seeking perfection, but because they are drawn to authenticity, to the strength and beauty that come from living in alignment with one's deepest beliefs. And in noticing, they are inspired to reflect on their own values, to consider what they bring to the relationship and how they can grow. This mutual recognition and commitment to values are what form the foundation of enduring, meaningful connections. There's a profound sense of respect and admiration that emerges when authenticity and presence converge in a person. Men notice this in women, not because they are looking for a superficial show, but because they are deeply attuned to the essence of what makes someone genuine. Authenticity is a quality that cannot be feigned, nor can it be conjured in fleeting moments. It's rooted in a person's ability to embrace who they are, flaws and all, and to carry themselves with an honesty that resonates far beyond words. Presence, on the other hand, is the manifestation of that authenticity in real time. It's not about commanding a room or demanding attention. It's about being fully engaged, fully aware, and fully invested in the moment. Men notice this because it's magnetic. It's the difference between a conversation that feels like an exchange of pleasantries and one that lingers in memory, one that leaves a mark because it felt real, unforced, and meaningful. There's an undeniable strength in a woman who has learned to harness both authenticity and presence. This strength is not loud or ostentatious, it's quiet and resolute. It's in the way she listens genuinely and without distraction, signaling that she values what is being shared. It's in the way she expresses herself, unfiltered yet thoughtful, revealing that she values herself enough to be truthful. Men notice this because it creates a space where vulnerability feels safe, where genuine connection can flourish. But authenticity requires courage. It's not easy to strip away the masks we wear, the roles we play to fit into society's expectations. To be authentic is to risk rejection, to risk being misunderstood. Yet, it is also the most liberating thing a person can do. It allows a woman to live in alignment with her values, to act in accordance with her beliefs, and to build relationships based on mutual respect rather than performance. Men notice this because it's rare. In a world filled with pretenses and facades, authenticity stands out like a beacon. Presence, too, demands a kind of bravery. It requires letting go of distractions, silencing the noise of the outside world, and committing fully to what is in front of you. It's easy to be physically present while mentally elsewhere, scrolling through thoughts or worries. True presence is different. It's an act of generosity, a gift of one's attention and energy. Men notice when a woman has mastered this because it makes them feel seen, valued, and important. It creates a connection that goes beyond the superficial, touching something deeper and more profound. These qualities, authenticity and presence, are not just beneficial for relationships, they are transformative for the individual as well. A woman who embraces her authentic self and cultivates her presence becomes more grounded, more confident, and more resilient. She is not swayed by external validation or the opinions of others because her sense of self is rooted internally. Men notice this because it's inspiring. It challenges them to look inward, to examine their own authenticity and presence, and to rise to meet the standard she sets simply by being herself. The beauty of authenticity and presence is that they create an atmosphere of trust. When a woman is genuine and fully engaged, it encourages those around her to do the same. It breaks down barriers, dissolves pretenses, and fosters an environment where honesty and vulnerability are not just accepted but celebrated. Men notice this because it feels real, uncontrived, and deeply human. It's a reminder that relationships are not about perfection, but about connection, about two flawed individuals coming together to support, challenge, and grow with one another. Yet these qualities are not static, they require ongoing effort and mindfulness. Authenticity involves a constant process of self-reflection, of questioning whether one's actions align with one's values. Presence demands practice, a deliberate choice to prioritize what matters over the countless distractions vying for attention. Men notice when a woman commits to this journey of self-improvement because it signals strength, determination, and a willingness to grow. It's not about arriving at a destination, but about embracing the process of becoming, of striving to be better every day. The interplay between authenticity and presence also highlights the importance of balance. It's not about being overly rigid or self-absorbed, but about finding harmony between self-expression and empathy. A woman who is authentic yet attuned to the needs of others creates a dynamic that is both empowering and nurturing. Men notice this balance because it fosters a relationship where both individuals feel valued and understood, where the partnership becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Authenticity and presence are not just qualities to be admired, they are catalysts for transformation. They have the power to reshape not only relationships, but also the way one experiences the world. When a woman chooses to live authentically and engage fully, she sets a powerful example. Men notice this because it challenges them to confront their own fears, to embrace their own authenticity, and to show up fully in their own lives. This is the silent but profound impact of a woman who embodies these qualities. She doesn't demand attention, she earns it. She doesn't seek validation, she exudes it. Men notice because she represents something rare and precious in a world that often prioritizes image over substance. She becomes a reminder of what is possible when we choose to live fully, honestly, and courageously. And in noticing, they are not just drawn to her, they are inspired to be better themselves. In the end, the true essence of a person shines through their authenticity and presence. A woman who embraces her genuine self and engages fully with the world around her creates an undeniable impact, not by demanding attention, but by embodying a quiet strength that resonates deeply. This is not about perfection, it's about connection, honesty, and growth. Men notice such a woman not just because she is unique, but because she inspires those around her to strive for more, to be more. It's a reminder that true beauty lies not in appearances, but in the courage to live authentically and the willingness to show up wholeheartedly in life.